I got Clifford unhooked from the baler. Gonna get hooked up to the chopper. And then I gotta get the hay head off. I got the corn head out of the shed with the 856, and we're gonna swap heads, probably sharpen the knives, and it's almost time. If you've never removed a head from a John Deere chopper, those pins up there go down in the bottom. They kind of wedge in there. And then you have pins or bolts holding on those top ears or shafts. And then this is the drive chain that runs the slip clutch. So the newer choppers have slip clutches on the heads, where the older choppers had a slip clutch on the chopper. So I am going to now raise the head, unhook that lift assist spring, and then I will lower the head, and I will take those bolts out of there, back up, and I'll pick the head up with the 856 and go put it in the shed. Looks pretty good. Pretty cool on here. All right, so I'm really close to getting it lined up. I should have showed you guys that whole process. But anyways, yeah. Oop, too far. Let's see if I can lower it. Enough. I gotta back up a little. All right. There we go. See if I got it, at least on the bottom. I had the bottom pins lined up, so I'm going to pull the jack stands and I should be able to lower it. And the upper ones, the top pins should go in, I think. Just like that. Now we're going to sharpen knives. They shouldn't need much. I had sharpened them before I chopped back that straw, that little bit, which wasn't much. But to do that, see these two shafts here, the upper one is the one that you normally use. That's the chop. The lower one is to sharpen the knives because it runs it backwards. So we'll run it backwards, and then under here, we get to the knives under here. This little one-row head is pretty cool. It's a late model one-row head, like a pretty late one. Like, I think it was new with the chopper, and the chopper is an 81. So I bet there weren't a lot of one-rows sold that late. Couple of oats still on the straw. Uh-oh. Oh, that's fine. I run the fan up pretty high, and I'll blow some oats out. It's fine. So this brings the cutter, well, the sharpener or stone closer to the knives. So we take this plate out, and then so this is the how you run that back and forth. But I'll bring this down closer to the knives. So I'm gonna grease that quick because it is a little sticky. Shouldn't be, but we'll just get a fresh edge on them, and I'll show you guys. You can see the scar. So yeah, you pull it back and forth, the stone back and forth. To bring it closer, you just turn that crank. So it seemed like it was sharpening a little uneven. I mean, where they're sharp, they're really sharp right now. But if you look, a couple of these got caught. And maybe they always were, or maybe I picked up a rock in that little bit of straw. So I'm gonna adjust a couple of them and see, I guess. And then maybe I'll just hit it one more time light. So I straightened out some of the knives that were crooked, and I resharpened a little bit. Looks better. It's not perfect, but yeah, like it still adjust some of these in the middle. That middle row is a little bit low, but in general, yeah, well, for a few loads of corn silage, I think it'll be just fine. Yeah, so now I am going to run it a little bit and let the gathering chains get good and warm, and I'll oil them and let them sit. I'm going to wash Clifford. See, he's just dirty. Yeah, I don't like that. If we're going to chop, well, I'm going to look good. Okay, so now I'm just warming up the chains. That's what I'm doing. I'm the only one on the farm, so I'm just going to let this run for a few minutes, get the chains warm. And while I load up a few things, because I think we're going to start on the pile today. So I am going to put down the plastic. We're going to build the pile on, and it's not really a pile, it's a burrito. Because I'm going to take plastic, lay it down, put the silage in it, put the plastic back over the top of it, and then cover it. So to hold the plastic when I start, I'm going to grab a few rocks out of my wife's rock pile. Here, this is for all her landscaping dreams. So years of picking rock, I brought her a lot of this. So I'm going to grab some rocks, and then the plastic on Monday. This is Wednesday. So Monday, well, it was raining. I went up to Up North Plastics in Hammond, Wisconsin, picked up a 25 by 100 bunker cover. And then, so like I said, I'm going to cut it basically in half. And that's what we're going to make our burrito with. All right, so here's where I'm going to make the pad. So I'm south of the farm. There is a lot in the middle of my farm. My home farm here sits on an 80. There's an 8-acre lot in the middle of it that I don't own, but I own on either side of it. And this is kind of a high spot in this field. I didn't want it close to the buildings. I don't have a great spot. I need to move around a lot with harvest coming. But I thought this would be a good spot. I had oats here this summer, so there's nothing here right now. I was out tiling here a week. Yeah, I was tiling this last week. So I'm gonna lay the plastic down here. And I got a plan. I got my tape measure, so I'm gonna measure out about 11 feet and kind of paint a mark where I wanna put the silage so I can fold over the top of it. I got my rocks, I got my plastic, I got my knife. So I'm gonna try this, I think. All right, so I got it laid down. I got a few rocks on it. Hopefully that's enough to hold it. And I spray painted a mark for the middle on each end. So that means keep your corn silage between here and here. And yeah, then we should be able to just pull that right over the top. That's the plan. So I stopped up to my neighbor John's to borrow a chopper box. So I was gonna borrow a chopper box from my other neighbor John, but they thought something was wrong with it and they hadn't dug it out, and he's been having some issues. So I said, well, that's no problem. And my other neighbor John was like, yeah, no problem, I'll get one out for you. And he hasn't used these in a long time. He quit milking in 17. He bought this pair of these Gehls brand new, probably right about the time Gehl was quitting. But really nice boxes. These are actually not really Gehl, they're H&S. Yeah, so we're gonna grease it up, give her a whirl. Back when that was still Ellsworth equipment. Got everything greased. I did a couple little things. I did check the gearboxes. Oil's great in the gearboxes. The chains are oiled like crazy. They were. So we're gonna leave them be. The unload apron, not the main aprons, but the unload apron here was a little loose, so I tightened that up just a few turns. Snug now. I'm gonna try it. Just go hook it up, dry run it a little bit before we take it to the field and load it. We'll put some fuel in Clifford. Looks pretty good after a wash job. I hate getting it wet, but every now and then it just needs to get washed. There's a spot of grease that got flipped up on the PTO though. It got on the windshield, which maddening. Yeah, that's clean and original. Looks cool on this chopper. They're matching. I don't think it needs a lot of fuel, so I'd probably shut that off or check the gauge. That does look cool. I had to take the American flag off, the big one. I still got the little one, but the big one was blocking the view for chopping corn, so I took it off for now. All right, so here we go. I do got to back up a little bit. I was close though. I was close enough I didn't have to extend it a lot, but yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah, it just looks cool. All right, so here we go. Well, looks like something's coming out. Oh yeah. And away we go. We're chopping. I gotta raise that head a little bit, because man, if something ever happened to that snoot on there, the outside one you can find, the inside one, I don't know where you find one. But I gotta figure out my spot to drive here. Oops. This is what happens when you're not paying attention to your driving. Alright, I gotta make a corner here, so. Half a load, it got dark, and there's no lights on that 1456, so I'm gonna just get some silage down on our on our plastic so it doesn't go anywhere. So a half a load and we'll get back to it tomorrow. But at least I'll have something there and pack it. And 4440 is hooked up. That 14 and the 856 don't have lights. They need wiring harnesses. But this has 540 PTO, and then I can pack with it. So I grabbed my 8225R. Might seem overkill, but for packing, it'd be great. So let's see what happens. So away we go. We officially got silage on there. So most of the cut is really nice. I'm happy with it, but some of those dry leaves and stuff are a little long. That's annoying, but I'll get it dialed in. So let's give her some RPMs. I should have ran it on a faster speed, but I wasn't going to mess with it tonight. It's fine. Must have just been, you know, some leaves and dry leaves, and just when the chopper wasn't quite full there, because that silage looks great. No complaints there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That looks good. Then I'm gonna unhook the box, pack it. I guess yesterday, or when I started yesterday evening, last night basically, I forgot to mention, so I have to unhook the box here, spin it around, take it to the other end, and then come back with the chopper, since we're only chopping on the one side, which I'm almost wide enough now I can turn with the chopper and the box, but a few more rows I think we'll be able to. But it's been a really slow process doing it this way, but you know, that's how we're gonna do it. And yeah, so it's all right. You know, the corn seems pretty good. Yeah, where it's good, it's really good. So yeah, so I dropped the chopper box there and grabbed the 14, leave the 44 Clifford in the chopper here, switch the box around, come back, get the chopper, hook it up, make another round. All right, so I dropped it on the other end here. I was able to turn a lot sharper, or a lot easier now with this much corn off. And we'll start here. Kind of interesting. I'm curious. So there is a test strip, and this might be part of the test strip that didn't get fungicide. I'm curious to see when we get into this. Well, when I combine everything, you know, what we'll know. But yeah, it's a process doing it this way, but it's the way we can do it. Should help this corn dry down. It's almost black layered, but yeah, this right here, and this right by the woods, all shaded, but you get in off the headlands. So the headlands, obviously you drive on when you plant, and you drive on when you spray, and you drive on when you wide drop, and all that stuff. But where it's good corn, it's really good corn. So yeah, that's all really nice corn. Good color too. So the fungicide must have helped it. We'll see. Yeah. easy to get off the road, then you, when you're not paying attention. So we've got end rows, and then some of this would not be an end row. Like this is just actual in the field, but the other stuff we've been taking end rows off. That's why you see some gaps in there and stuff, because the population is a lot thinner, because you drive on the headlands, where this doesn't get driven on at all. So this is just good corn. So we're loaded, heading back. Now it's just back and forth, back and forth. So we're gonna try and get another partial load on here yet, and that'd probably be all I can do if I want to do it as a burrito. I thought this would be plenty of feed. That probably should be, but. And there's my wife, my lovely wife, watching what I'm doing. She's never been around corn silage. I told her it smells so. It's the home farm. I love the looks of the farm from, you know, south of it. And yeah, I like my farm. good stuff. So the lighting on the tool cat is pretty awesome. So I'm covering up my tiny pile, very small corn silage pile, but that's okay. Yeah, it's about 45 by what, 20 feet, something like that, and about 2.5 feet high in the middle. But not a lot of cattle, and we won't open it until it gets good and cold. But nice to have a little corn silage. But yeah, these lights are awesome for doing this. There's the farm up there. So I'm gonna throw a little dirt down too. And luckily I just tiled, so I got some dirt that's dug up. I'm gonna lay on the edges. Well, the one piece of equipment that I never got a chance to use this year was this. And maybe next year we can use this. This, if you don't know, this is a blower. Used to fill a silo. And this is a New Holland 60, which is the same as a 600 IH and Case IH. And I had a New Holland 40, was the last blower I used. That was a small, it was a 40-inch diameter, so the 60 stands for 60-inch. This was a 40-inch. You'd think, well, that wouldn't blow nearly as much as a 60-inch. This runs 540 RPM. The other one was 1,000 RPM. And they were, wow, them things would blow. But, you know, maybe next year we'll have enough cattle around that I can actually fill silo a little bit. But looking forward to this. This should be a pretty good blower. I've never used it, but bought it pretty right last year. And my 40 was good. You know, I had before that, I guess I had a Dion 1660 blower, which was a 60-inch 540 RPM blower, but it was in tough shape when I bought it. But it lasted a little while. Then I had a 56 International before that, which was a 56-inch blower 540, but this same design. That was kind of the blower that a lot of the blowers today are basically designed after. But those 1,000 RPM blowers like that New Holland 40 was something. So I'm going to keep an eye out for another one of those on a, a great deal or something. And here is the silo that I would use. This is a Rochester 18 by 70. It was put up in 2000, I believe. Yeah, I think it was used, but it was not an old silo when I bought the farm. So this is the silo I would use. 18-footer kept feed really nice. It's got a Badger Frostbuster unloader in it. One thing I would do, so that door has been open up on top for years, and you can actually see it eroded the concrete and the staves a little bit right here. So I would maybe pour a little concrete patch right there. But there's some junk silage at the very bottom here, but not much. But yeah, I would hopefully be able to fill this in another year, maybe 2. Depends on how the cattle prices are. If they're too expensive to buy more, I mean, we're going to grow our herd, but either way, with just having, calves, but yeah, we'll see. All right, well, thanks for watching. I really enjoyed this. I really had a fun time. So I hope you guys did too. There's going to be some harvest videos coming up here because it's going to be really busy. Next week we should be going on beans. So we get a rain delay in there. I'll try and do some interviews, but otherwise there's going to be some farming stuff here for a little bit. All right. Thanks again. You guys have a good one.